Hey guys, welcome back to Super Switch U. Sorry for taking so long to do another video. Last week was just crazy. Had a lot of things going on, celebrating Mother's Day. Kolache Festival was the weekend before that. We had a 2-day garage sale. Family was in and out of the ER. Logan was sick. Complications with my wife made us think we needed to rush off. So didn't get a chance to really record anything. But, well, we're back. We had a short little week and a half break. So let's jump into some things. First, shout out to a different channel just to try to help get some traffic over there. My brother and his son, so my nephew, they are doing a channel. DynamicRetroDuo is the title of their channel. Brain farted like real bad right there. But they do unboxing videos for like their subscription boxes. There's like 1.5 million of them. But they've got a few of those going, and they get these boxes in filled with retro games, stuff like Sega Saturn, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, all kinds of stuff. And they'll blind open all of these boxes, and it's pretty much all they've done so far, but I think eventually they'll venture into some other things. But it's pretty cool. They've gotten some completely factory sealed games, some import stuff for Sega Saturn, some really rare type of stuff. So I'm going to put that link in the description to their channel. Go check them out, and maybe give them some views, some likes, some comments, maybe a subscription. And yeah, that's what I got to say on that. We'll just jump into some stuff today. And try to keep it as brief as I can. There's just a lot of things to unpack. Starting with limited run games. And I've got it pulled up on the phone because I already tried to record this once and I screwed it up. Forgot headphones, and I know this is not the same pair that I usually wear. Could not find that one, so hopefully this one's working okay for you guys. Here we go. So limited run this week, last week, whenever PAX East was, they had made a statement about the Raito remastered collector's edition that they put out, and was getting some slack on from people because the game itself was still a game key card and not a physical game, and it seemed to go against what limited run does. But I had said in my previous video it wasn't a numbered release, so it was probably not their decision to make. It's probably Sega and Atlas that decided this. That's exactly what happened. In case you're wondering, I'm on bossrush.net. They had done an article on it, but I've seen this literally posted everywhere. Probably the last person to talk about it, but it's all right. We'll talk about it now. So at PAX East, they had confirmed that any limited run numbered release for the Switch 2 will contain the full game on the cartridge, aka a true physical release. Games released as a partnership, like Raito. It says, therefore not a numbered release, may be published as a game key card, leaving the decision to the third party. So, that's part of what I was saying, right? You keep the companies or the parties responsible who are actually at fault for some of these decisions. I see a lot of people gripe at Nintendo for game key cards. You gripe at limited run because of the game key card thing. But the true people making that decision is still the third-party companies. Now, it's another story that's floated around that supposedly there's 2 different types of game cards for the Switch 2, and then everything else is digital. One of them being a game key card, which has to have like next to nothing for storage space, just enough to put that license on there so you can pull all that into it. And then supposedly the only other one is a 64 gigabyte card, which is pretty big, considering Switch 1, the biggest cards were 32 gigabyte. And this is like twice that size. So probably a little bit pricey. I mean, in the overall scheme of things, though, if you're buying these things in bulk, like thousands, millions of cartridges, really that price still can't be enough to justify just not making profit on it. But it would limit their profit. So it's probably why they're sticking to this game keycard thing, is they don't want to give up what little bit that they're going to give up in profit to do that. Now, in some cases, like Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, it's like a 4 gigabyte game. You're wasting 60 gigabytes there. And it makes sense. I feel like Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 could have just been a digital title or a Switch 2 edition, since it was also on Switch 1. Could have also been an upgradable pack to give you all that extra, because they didn't seem to do a whole lot. But no, Sega was like, you know what, you got to pay us, the whole $40 again for a game key card. Like, it's stupid. I don't know who they thought was going to be okay with this, but nobody's okay with that. But some of your bigger games like Cyberpunk, they might opt in to do the full physical, and then it's reassuring that limited run's going to still do so. So maybe we'll get a few physical games that aren't Nintendo. But just know that Nintendo's not fully to blame for it. They got a little bit of the blame, because I feel like you could have done at least one other size cartridge for Switch 2. You could have had a 64 and maybe like a 32 gigabyte or something, give a smaller option for these smaller games. So I agree, like that part's on them. But the third parties at the end of the day still said, you know what, let's just do the game key card. We can maximize our profits and not buy the 64 gigabyte card. Which is stupid, because if you don't sell the card anyway, the game key card, you wasted that money, all that saving because you didn't want to buy the 64 gigabyte cartridge. You're going to throw away by printing garbage and putting it on the shelf in Walmarts and GameStops and whatever, and not selling it. But it is what it is. Bringing to another point, there's a few reports where people have done studies or surveys or whatever. I don't think there's like official data out there, but it does kind of look like all these game key cards are really low on the Switch 2 purchase list, or at least pre-order wise. I don't know where that article was that I saw the other day. I was going to see if maybe it popped up here, but no. But somebody had like done the top 20 pre-orders for Switch 2. This was consoles, games, accessories, all on the same list. And in this thing, obviously your two consoles are at the top. Mario Kart World is like right below that, because if you didn't get it in the bundle, then you were buying it physically. Pro controllers were way up there. Camera was way up there. The Amiibos made the list. Game-wise, though, after Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, you had Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions in that list, and Cyberpunk 2077, which was fully on the cartridge. I also pre-ordered that, which I'll talk about here in a bit. But what you didn't see in that list, in that 20 list, any third-party company game that was a game key card or a code in a box. Both were void, right? And again, like it's not official data, so we won't really know that until all the dust settles and Switch 2's been out for a bit. I do feel like that's probably going to end up being true, right? Because then you're selling to people that are okay with digital and that small market of people that were okay with game key cards. But most people found that to be a waste of freaking time. So I don't think those sales are going to pay off in the end. And hopefully before too many good games come out, like the must-have stuff, hopefully they see that and they're like, okay, so we can't skip out on this. We've got to do a true physical copy. Just buy the 64 gigabyte cartridges and we'll deal with it. Hopefully they see that from this and not, okay, let's just only release on digital because physical's not working. Because a game key card is not physical. It's a joke and you need to throw it out. Just as far as you can, chunk that thing. Get it out of here. Nobody wants it. Now, to move on to other topics, because I get tired of the whole everything's a game key card and like really pushing that point. It stresses me out sometimes. So, stock to better things. Switch to Journey, as far as my own personal journey to get to Switch 2 and all the things that I have or haven't pre-ordered for it. And with this, I'll say it beforehand, so that way, like, if you guys really want to feel like part of the conversation, you can comment down below all of your stuff, like if you pre-ordered, what you got, where you're at with it. If you pre-ordered from GameStop and you only put your 50 down like I did because you needed that full 5 weeks or whatever it was to pay off the system. Because holy crap, this was a lot of money to just try to drop at one time. They picked after tax time, so I couldn't even like save that money. Anyway, way off point. Point is, share your own personal experiences below, and I'll comment as I can, and we'll talk about it. But I'd like to share my own here, and then we will kind of go from there. So, GameStop is where I pre-ordered it. I've said this before, but I got in line, I got the pre-order, and I put the 50. We kind of thrown money at it here and there. We had a 2-day garage sale last weekend. Tried to sell some of the Switch games and some other stuff, and I traded a Switch Lite in towards it and some other stuff. And currently, the console, because it was just the console by itself, I didn't do the bundle, I'm sitting at $368.07, like $368.07 thrown at the system. I've got like 119 left, I believe is what they said at GameStop, because trading stuff knocks down some of that tax money, so you're not spending a bunch of money elsewhere when they're getting stuff they're going to tax later. Mario Kart World is completely paid off now, thanks to GameStop's current offer for trades, which is really nice, by the way. Anything traded towards a Switch 2 game or accessory gets an additional 40%. And if you're a pro, it's 40% on top of your 10. So from like the base trade value, you're getting an extra 50%. And I've done the math, like it totally evens out. It's 50% extra right now if you're going towards a game or an accessory, but technically not the console. I said technically because there's a trick here to make more out of your trades and still get that nice bump. You just pre-order one thing, accessory or game or something, and you throw your trades at that. You go in and you say, I want to put my trades towards Mario Kart or my Switch 2 case or whatever it is you're trying to do. And you take everything in. You don't try to hit the number. You just, whatever you're going to trade towards all of the stuff, you trade it in at that point towards that thing. only the one thing at a time, right? You do that, you pay it off, and after it's paid off, right, you're going to have all that extra at the back, whatever else you had. And that's whenever you tell them you want to put that towards the Switch 2 pre-order. And it keeps that bump because it was technically for something you paid off, and it throws it at the Switch 2. And you get an extra 50% for all the other stuff you trade. And I don't even think it's like limited. I think you could do consoles, you could do accessories, all of it. And that goes on until I think it was the 29th. I think it's somewhere at the end of the month. So you still got like a couple of weeks to go in and do it if you wanted to. But it's a really good way to get this stuff knocked out. So we got Mario Kart knocked out and still ended up having over $90 of that extra credit thrown back over. So we got that. Best Buy was doing some trade-in stuff as well, but not like extra stuff towards it. It just, if you have laptops, phones, electronics, you can trade these things for store credit. And we had a laptop that we got Black Friday 2 years ago for like $200. It's a Lenovo IdeaPad. Well, they gave us $100 credit for that, just on a Best Buy gift card. So I took that and I did a couple extra pre-orders that I didn't already have. I got me a nice case that I think the brand was Next brand, but it's just a plain gray case, but it has the little flap with the cartridge sleeves that I like in it. It can hold like 10 cartridges, I think. And it seems like it'll get the job done. It'll protect the console. I can take it with me. It's going to have all my stuff with it. It's like $20. So I pre-ordered that. And then the other $80 took care of Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm going to get to finally play that game. I'd always thought it kind of looked interesting, but I didn't want to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation to play it because those consoles did not look interesting to me. So I just never tried it. And now that it's coming to Switch 2, and it's like the only other physical released game that's not a Switch 2 edition, it's not Mario Kart. So got that one paid off. Got 2 games, case, system. And then my dear sweet wife, she wanted a game. She didn't want to have to pay for the whole thing again because we got it for her for Switch 1. And it ran like absolute crap. Like, she was playing it, but she struggled a lot. There was all kinds of stuff wrong with this game. Had unnecessary load screens in certain points. Graphics were just real bad. Performance was slow. If you haven't guessed by this point, Hogwarts Legacy is the game that we're talking about. But they were doing an interesting thing with that too. But WB didn't talk about it, so I'll tell you what they're doing because she did it, but I told her about it, and then that's when we tried to do this. So if you own the Switch 1 version of Hogwarts Legacy, you can get the Switch 2 version pre-order for $10. And this was, like, people were seeing this at the beginning of the week, and now it's the end of the week and it's still there. Like, it's still going on. So I don't think this is a mistake. They would have pulled it pretty quick. I think this was intentional. Just didn't say anything for some reason. But the good part to this, right? The Switch 1 version digitally is on sale right now. I think it's through the 18th is when that sale ends. So you got like 3 days from the day I should be uploading this. It's on sale for $17 or $17.99. I don't remember, but somewhere within like $1 of that. So So you buy that for $17, or if you have like eShop credits or gold coins, throw those at it, because that's what we did. My wife had both store credit, like a couple bucks, and a couple bucks worth of gold coins. So we made the whole Switch 1 version $13. Then went and did the pre-order for Switch 2. So that was another 10. So this $59.99 game, the Switch 2 version of Hogwarts Legacy, we got for $23. And it's probably about to get less than that, because I had bought it for her physically for Christmas. And if she's got the digital version of the first one, but then also the Switch 2 version, we don't need the physical copy anymore. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care about physical games. I don't know that I care about keeping the physical version of Hogwarts Legacy. So we're going to take that and trade it. And I believe GameStop is still giving $17, like the baseline credit, or trade-in credit, $17. So if we threw that at like Donkey Kong, it'd get an extra 50%. So like $21, somewhere in there. No, that wouldn't be right, would it? 17, half of 17 be 8.5. Throw that onto the back end. Like 25, maybe. I usually try to screw you, so it'll probably show up as like 24 or something. But still, like even if it's 23, like we got our money back and just threw it at Donkey Kong. So it was a pretty good deal. Free upgrade to that game. So if you haven't done it, I would suggest doing that. Even if you're not going to get the game, or like the Switch 2 at launch, take advantage of that, and then you'll just have it when you get the Switch 2 at some point, if you plan on buying the system. If you don't plan on buying the system, don't waste the money. That'd be stupid. It'd be really stupid. So we're going to have 3 games at launch, and the case, and the system. I'm just going to have to make 2 trips. I'm going to have to go to GameStop the night before, because they're not... Interesting thing. They are not doing a midnight release, at least at Shawnee. They're doing a late night release. So what that means is, instead of having to wait till 12 o'clock, which is basically like the morning of June 5th, they're going to start handing them out at 11 p.m. June 4th. It's Wednesday night. You just have from 3 o'clock to the time that they close. You've got to go in, make sure your stuff's paid off. They'll give you like a ticket or something. You come back with that, and that's it. Like, you just show up, stand in line, get your copy, and get out of there. So I'd be doing that night, and then going to Best Buy to pick up Cyberpunk in the case at some point on the 5th. Because I did pick up in store. I didn't want to risk shipping it and then not having it the first day, because I have had some issues with Best Buy not getting things to me on launch day for stuff. So it's not even going to deal with the headache. I'll just drive 30 minutes to Midwest City. It'll be fine. And one other point, and then we're done. We're done for the day. I'll make another video later. But if money allows, and I still got to pay off Donkey Kong, so that's another like 70. But if I can come up with $10, I want to get something off the shop for Switch 2. It's either going to be the Switch 2 tour, because I mean I'm interested to see why they thought it was worth $10, right? There's got to be something more to it than just showing you what the system can do. Otherwise, that should have been free. So it would either be that or Switch 2 upgrade pack either being Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and see how that works. But I'd like to know what you guys think. So from now until, we're 3 weeks away? Oh yeah, okay. So at the day of recording this, May 15th, we are 3 weeks exactly from the launch of Switch 2. So on June, no, that seems like a terrible time to do that. Oh, but then, all right, I'll make the cutoff May 31st, and then either the 31st or June 1st, I will announce what one. So we're going to vote for it, right? You comment below, comment in other videos. If I can figure out how to do a poll, then I'll put that up. But vote on what you would like to see, because June 5th, I'm going to find a way to show some of this off. I don't have a good setup for things, so it's going to take some figuring out. But I'd like to try to either get the TV set up so we can do some live footage, and then just like have the camera so I'm reacting and stuff to these things and talking to you guys, do a live stream, something. But we'll talk about all the things that are coming in. So if you have interest in Mario Kart, you have interest in Hogwarts Legacy and Cyberpunk, or you want to see what one of those $20 Switch 2 cases is like, definitely tune in for that, because we're going to cover all of that. And then the fifth thing will be what you guys vote for. So if I get the Switch 2 Tour or upgrade pack for Breath of the Wild, or an upgrade pack for Tears of the Kingdom, you guys vote, and then that'll close May 31st, and then I'll do a video to announce what it is that we're going to be purchasing, and June 5th we'll do coverage of that as well. So that way you guys can be more interactive. Seems like a decent idea, I think. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. But I did want to do something because I hated not doing it for almost 2 weeks. So if you like this video, hit like, comment your thoughts down below, or your Switch 2 journey so far, where you're at with paying stuff off and getting stuff pre-ordered. Anything else you guys want to talk about, comment below. We could talk about it. If it's something that I think I can make a video out of, we'll talk about it in a video. And vote. Vote on one of those three things. Switch 2 Tour, upgrade pack for Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom upgrade pack. And I will catch you guys next time.